so excited to have Mr. Stave Thomas here in the house. Thank you for being here. I think a lot of people would not recognize you by that name. So,
Right.
who are you today, and
Uh,
what
to
were you?
to the world, they would probably know me for. But first, thank y'all for having me. Yeah, to the world, they would probably know me as Slim Thug. To the new people, well, they would probably know me as Big
The kids.
Slim, Sugar Daddy Slim. Just a couple names out there. I go by. But yeah, all of them work.
I like Sugar Daddy Slim. Where did that name come from?
It's just a character. Actually, that whole character came from me just wanting to be on vacation. And I think I went to the mall and bought like one of those floral shirts, like a sugar daddy. And I put on the head, I said, man, I look like a sugar daddy. So I just
You
wrote
need,
it on Instagram and
you need to get that shirt for your cruise.
right. I
You'll fit
definitely
right in
got
with
some
that thing.
unpacked for the cruise, 100%.
Well, we wanted to bring you here today because I know a lot of people, especially if they're from Houston, know who you are. They've heard your name, they've heard your music, but they may not have heard how you got there.
Right.
So on the show, we like to tell the story of, who were you as a kid? Where did you grow up?
Okay.
And how did you end up where you are today?
Ooh, it's a long story.
We like them long. There you go.
Right. So I lived a different life. First of all, I guess we'll start with I'm from the north side of Houston. I'm the youngest of 7. I got 3 brothers and 3 sisters. I'm the baby boy.
Oh,
So we grew up. I was born on the northeast side in the Homestead area, and through my childhood, we stayed on that side. But through my childhood, I went to a lot of different schools. Like growing up, I went to, I would say 9 to 12 different schools. I don't know. It was just like through elementary, always moving through middle school, high school, but
you still are on the same side of town?
mainly on the north side. All on the north side actually, but it did go from northeast to the northwest though.
So why
through
were you
my
guys moving so much?
Just unstable, man. Like single mom, she got 7 kids. That's tough. So we ended up, like I say, going from apartment to apartment. The earlier years, we was on the northeast side. It was kind of stable a little bit. We started off. I went to Tidwell Elementary, then we went to the C King area. This is all elementary, I think. I'm gonna name how many elementary schools I went to. So started at Tidwell, then I went to C.E. King area, then we went to Heather Glen, and that's like Aldine area, so that's northwest side.
Okay.
So this is all elementary. Niche, I think I went to Niche. That's a Klein school. That's on the northwest side. Stovall, another school at Aldine.
He went. He went to all of it. He went to all of
Exactly.
it.
I've been everywhere. Then I went to Caraway, was a 5th and 6th grade school. So yeah, man. And then it was just like that all my life. So it's like a lot of the times I don't have like a group of people I can say, hey man, I was with them from
Yeah.
day one. I was kind of, moving around a lot. So it kind of made me have to learn how to adapt, quick to different areas, different places. And I think it helped me out a lot with, or maybe it didn't. Maybe it's some therapy stuff. If I go sit and talk to the therapist, they're like, that's why you can't sit still. You got to keep it moving, But
Were you
yeah.
were you the oldest or
No,
the
I'm
youngest?
the youngest. I'm
Okay.
actually the youngest. Yeah,
Out of 7.
out of 7, the youngest.
What's the age gap?
Man, my sister older than me. I would say she's 3 years older than me, and then my brother is like 5 years older than me, my closest two. But it goes all the way up from my oldest sister. I believe she's like 55. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Raquel, if I get it wrong.
So she was like getting out of the house by the time you were born.
Yeah,
Did y'all have the same dad?
We all it's 4 of us got the same dad, and then another 3 got the same dad.
And was your dad in your life? Did you have a relationship with him growing up, or just
Early on, like yeah, it wasn't like a real relationship. It was like I know who you are, like we conversate, but it was not a traditional father son relationship or mother whatever relationship. So yeah, that's where a lot of the stuff came from. Single mom, not being able to pay this here, and we moving. She working at dead end jobs, grocery stores, gas stations, stuff like that. So we always was in the hood pretty much, and that landed it. My brothers in a lot of situations where they began to go in the streets and do stuff at a young age. So when I was young, I would say from like 10 years old. At that time, my mother is working a 12-hour shift, 7 days a week, and she really can't watch us. Basically, she got to work.
So you just have to fend for yourself at home.
So at the end of the day, I'm kind of like doing whatever I want. Like, it's food at the house, it's 7 of us. So we got food stamps. You know what I'm saying? We ain't missing food. But at the same time, there's no like real rules because I can kind of do whatever I want to do. She checking on us as much as she can, but you can't really watch, a young man that, or whatever they're young.
She's kind of relying on the older kids to take care of you and watch after you, and they're at school. So sometimes,
and they teenagers and doing whatever they do. And they did a good job. It wasn't like I landed in nothing crazy. And also, I saw my older brothers go to jail. We had to go see them in jail. A lot through my childhood, and so I kind of watched them, make mistakes and learn from their mistakes, seeing how my mama was struggling to, put money on their books, and do all that there. So I kind of learned from their mistakes to kind of keep me out of going all the way bad. You know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of good that you were the youngest. You were the youngest one that you got to see that, because if you would have been the oldest one, the situation might have been a little different.
I would probably have to touch the fire, exactly. So me seeing we having how hard it is for her to pay for this rental car to get to go see her son in jail and all this, and then put what she can on his books. I was just like, I can't do my mama like that. At a young age, I could see that. But so that, like you say, me being the youngest, I was able to learn from the older ones' mistakes or whatever a lot, But at the same time, they was making mistakes, so that's how we would have to move so much. We keep getting evicted everywhere we go because they doing stuff, while she at work, she come home to evictions, So that's pretty much how my childhood. That was just elementary, and it went on and on and on, like all through my childhood. But the good thing about that is I learned from my older brother's mistakes. And secondly, by me not having so many rules, I've learned how to move, without having rules, like, just to make my own decisions and not do crazy stuff, or whatever, by having to make my own decisions. Nobody telling me, oh, you got to come in the house at 10 o'clock. Like, you got to be here. I'm outside and I'm around all the bad stuff all the time, like as a child. So it's like I got to be around it, but at the same time, know that, a lot of this stuff is not what I don't need to be getting into. So,
but having street smarts, common sense,
right.
You didn't follow in the same pattern as your brother.
Exactly. I see my family going to jail. I see a lot of stuff happening, so I learned from it.
So then, you said that you never had a 1099 type job, or a W4, W9, whatever. Yeah. You went straight from, being a teenager to straight into music. You didn't work another job working for somebody else.
Well,
when did you know that you were going to be a musician? Did you know at a young age?
Okay. We're going to see, like I said, we going to keep the story going. It was 10 years old when I felt like I started becoming a man and being able to make my own decisions. At that time, and I really wasn't a man, but I'm just saying that's how I felt. But
was you taking care of yourself at this point?
Not really, because my mother, at the same time, I'm in the hood. I'm not seeing nothing that like when you ain't never seen nothing, you think this is great. Like we got food stamps, so it's 7 of us. So the thing is, when it's a lot of kids, you get a lot of food stamps. So we got chips, or we got all the good stuff, like, so it ain't like I'm feeling like I'm broke. I'm feeling like life is bad. And, like I say, I'm just in that environment of a lot of bad stuff around me.
You don't think else to compare it to, so you don't know you're
right. I have nothing to compare it to. So at 10 years old, one of my half brothers wrote me a rap, Tay-Day, and
he wrote your what?
He wrote me a rap at 10 years old. So I memorized, and I used to go say it to everybody, like, oh, they're like I rap. I wish I could remember it too.
Did they think it was just cute and funny to watch you do it? Is that why they would do it?
Yeah, as a 10-year-old, people used to just be laughing at me trying to rap, I'm sure. But
were they into music already, or?
My older brother, I feel like he was so young. I don't feel like he was into it then, but he did later on become into it. But yeah, so.
But this is when the rap scene, the hip hop scene just first came out. This is 1990.
This is 90, because I'm 44. Same age as us. I'm born in 1980, so this is like 1990. So, like I said, I'm running around saying that rap. A couple years later, My other brother bought me a karaoke machine, and now we moved. I remember we moved back to Homestead area, Northwood Manor, and I'm just stuck in the house because really I don't know a lot of people in Northwood Manor, and I just go out in Scenic down the street. So I'm in there. I probably made 3 albums off of 2 instrumentals, like just in there, just constantly just rapping, but not knowing I'm putting in my 10,000 hours of what I want to do in life, you know what I'm saying? At 12, so it's crazy.
You got a tape in there. There's no CDs.
No CDs, you just put a tape in there, you rap and you can record it. And then you
have 2 double tape deck?
Exactly.
Or one you record some sound off the radio and then you sing.
It's a karaoke machine, but you can record it. So I'm like, I'm making an album, and I'm playing it back and just filling up my little book or whatever. But that was what I can remember as being the, initial beginning of this. And that's around 13, 14, I would say. Now me and my brothers hearing me rap. Now they like, hey man, let's do something. My older brother who got me a karaoke machine and one of my friends, we come up with a group, Cash Money Brothers. Like, this is like 94, 95. I swear that we the first Cash Money Brothers. You know what I'm saying?
So what is your mom thinking about this when you're coming home and you got this karaoke machine out and you're giving her concerts?
I don't remember. Honestly, I can't remember my mom even just, but really I don't remember a lot from that time, but she definitely wasn't
complaining. I'm tired.
She was working and sleep. Mama wasn't in the way. She was just, doing what she could. So, like I said, I got into that, doing that. And eventually we tried to start a little group, Cash Money Brothers. And I remember going to, by high school, we would do talent shows. And we would go to this talent show way on the south side. I'm from the north side. It had to be the longest drive I ever been on in my life, as a kid.
So when you say the talent show on the south side, is this like when your friends went to school down there or something? Or how did y'all end up?
My brother dragging us like, hey, man, we got to go try to do the He just, so, man, we go way out there. We lose every time.
But you just kept going.
And then got to go to school in the morning, So it's like I say, I'm putting in my 10,000 hours. I don't even know it. So I did that.
Is there a saying that if you do 10,000 hours or something, you become a specialist or whatever?
I feel like
master something.
That's what I believe. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Whoever came with that, I feel like it takes 10 years or 10,000 hours to, get to where you want to be in whatever field that may be, So,
and if you can put that in it, you're gonna make it.
Yeah, I feel like that's what the problem is. A lot of people want to rush that, and I feel like what'll give you peace of mind as an entrepreneur it's just like school. It's just like everything. I believe everything takes 10 years to really be a relationship. I don't think you really know people until you spend a large amount of time with them, and I think people got it wrong with, making a lot of fast moves on lifetime decisions, you know what I'm saying?
I've been 13 years of making makeup and I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
No, that's true. People start and stop, but that's why they never see true success because they just stop.
They're on to the next thing.
It's like, oh, that didn't work for me. Well, you only did it for 6 months.
Exactly.
Ain't no way you're going to be good at it.
Nothing works that fast. Let's talk about haircut. You cutting hair, it takes time to grow clientele. It takes 10 years to, grow your clientele, to show that you good business.
Reputation.
I deal with that with my hairdressers too. I think they all think they're going to pay $30,000 for cosmetology school, which is very expensive nowadays. Now barbering and cosmetology is all one and it's like 30 grand. And they think they're going to get out of school and come in and walk in and make $100,000 a year. It doesn't work like that. You don't just, even if you want to start doing booth rental tomorrow, you got to hustle. You got to get on social media. You got to be promoting yourself. You got to be talking to every client that comes in the store and saying, hey, by the way, I'm doing this, this, and this. I do makeup now. I'm going to be doing hair. It just takes a really long time for music, in relation to music, before people start hearing who you are, before they start sharing with their friends, before you get your name out there.
Right. Even so, like I was saying, I guess I'll speed up the story or whatever, but it's like it was the childhood things. I didn't even know I was putting in my 10,000 hours on what I was trying to do in my life. And I feel like the quicker you start on your 10,000 hours, the quicker you're going to see your success. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't know I was starting at 10 years old. And now what happens? When I'm in high school, it takes off. And now I'm seeing money out.
That's why he dropped out of school. He's like, I this is wasting my time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So
I gotta get to it.
But that was it though. So that's the story. That's how I started rapping. At 17, I teamed up. I was in actually this is what happened, whatever. It's like, well, right before that, I won't skip this part. My friend Stessel, who passed away, we was doing like group trying to do like some mixtapes or whatever with DJ T Gray, who is a local DJ out here who been around forever, representing from 97.9 to, you know, on Washington, whatever. He like
I remember him from 97.9.
DJ T Gray, real popular. So we was doing work with him, and it would be a event on the north side for the high schoolers. Nimitz, Eisenhower, you know, all the local high schools would go party at this one place called the All-Star. And through that, we up there with T Gray and whatever. And then I finally run into Watts up there another day and freestyled, and then we got with him. And then we got in the studio and put a mixtape together, which took off. And so that was the beginning of Swishahouse.
I was about to say, you were the first one?
I wasn't the first one. It was a few of us. Mario was before me, Lester Roy. But as far as like when it first took off, it was us, me, Lil Mario, J-Dog. That was in 1998. So I was like 17 in high school, 11th grade. And how that went as a entrepreneur was, instead of me getting money for the rap, DJ Michael Watts, who was the DJ who was making the mixtapes, he would give us the mixtapes and tell us, well, first, if you rapped on there, he would give you some, you know, just off of that, like maybe 500 or whatever, you know, just to get you some money. But also, you bring him back if you want to sell more. $5 on a tape, you sell it for 10, and then $8 on the CD. You sell.
So was he
it for
recording
15.
what y'all were doing at the club then, at this place that you were going to, that everybody would hang out?
After that performance, he invited us to his house to do the mixtape.
Okay.
And he do the mixtapes. He was already doing mixtapes,
So it's separate.
but it wasn't really rap based. It wasn't like random Houston rappers rapping on it. It was just a bunch of good songs together, you know. So as we got on it, it took off. Like kind of how DJ Screw was already doing this and was already, you know, booming. They already had this going on the south side. So we just created a north side lane for it. You know what I'm saying? And with the Swishahouse, immediately I was able to see money. You know what I'm saying? Like finally after getting booed and losing the talent shows and doing whatever. Now it's, you know, I sell these CDs and tapes, and it's not like, oh, here's my demo, I'm a rapper, check me out. These people want it. They already hearing about it. It's already a demand for it. And I'm in high school, so I'm going to high school with a backpack full of CDs and tapes and making a killing in lunch. It's Eisenhower, I think it's like 3,000 to 5,000 students. It's block scheduling. Everybody go to lunch together.
Did you get real fancy and like print out something to put on top of your CD, or you
they was
Sharpie?
Out. Watts would do that, and
So
that's why
fancy. So it's like they were buying a real
But
CD.
you were buying them from him for $5 and selling them for
wholesale.
$10.
And then not only that, I'm making some real popular raps as I go on. When I get on the mixtape, they doing real good, and the demand is growing for Slim Thug. They want to hear, I want to hear Slim Thug, and I'm seeing this. So now Watts giving me more free CDs to sell because he see the demand changing. Also now I'm doing shows, and they got me on the on the billboard, all this here. So now it's not only me selling the mixtapes and CDs, I'm getting show money now, and now this is taking off. And I don't have an album out. This is all on other people's beats, by the way.
That's what I was about to ask. You're not tied you're not tied to a contract or anything.
This is
point,
all underground,
which is a great place to
right.
start.
It's
because
then
you're learning the industry.
I'm gonna tell you,
as
an entrepreneur, since this entrepreneur, I'm gonna show y'all how I am in my mind. What happened actually? Okay, so what happened with that?
We want to know all your learning things.
Right. I'm breaking down. So with that happening, why I'm different than other rappers, that taught me self-value. So now when I go to New York and they talking to me about some $250,000 for 4 albums and we getting that underground, you can't tell me that because I know what I'm worth. Now most rappers, what they do, they come with a CD with no self-value, not knowing who they are, not knowing how much they worth, and willing to take whatever and want you to make them the star. But I already had the money. I was like, I'm already getting paid.
It happened backwards for you, but it's blessed because you learned and you didn't get fucked.
I learned self-value and didn't sign no contracts, didn't even put out an album.
So how old were you when you went to New York then? Because you were 17 when you started.
I was 17 doing that.
When you met Michael Watts.
Swishahouse is on fire at this point. But before, I say with me and ESG, we went probably like 2002, 2003. First, it was me.
ESG Houston?
He a rapper. He a rapper out of the city. So basically.
Out of where?
Out of Houston. He out of Houston.
Okay, I remember. I used to listen to him. But
he was already like a known rapper in the city, like, you know, and okay, since it's an entrepreneur show, I'm gonna break down the Houston music scene also. We known for being independent in Houston, right? But at the same time, a lot of rappers who was from the 90s era, like they still had record labels. Like they might have been signed to you. You got some money, you want to invest in a rapper, you know, whatever.
It's more of investors than big names.
It's investors more than people who really know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Some people did know what they was doing, but some people was just, you know, pure investors. So that's on the guys who was before me, like say a DJ Screw. A lot of them went through those because that's what it was. Independent. I'm signed to this dude. We put out an album, and they had fame out here. It would go through Southwest Wholesale, was a distribution place out here. A guy named Robert, and he would get your CDs and tapes in all you know, stores. So you didn't. It's basically a major record deal. Yeah. Like instead of you signing a record deal, he can get your music in the CD and tape stores all through this region, at least the Southwest region. So that helped the earlier rappers in Houston
like
out.
Sound Waves type places and
back
things.
Then, there was record stores everywhere.
Exactly.
Back then.
Remember back
in
then,
the mall,
it was mom and pop stores
everywhere, but
everywhere, everywhere. So that's what he did because he, you know, he had
the relationships,
had all the CDs from the other big name record labels going through him. That's how he distributed. He began to distribute ours.
What were you selling the burn CDs for? Or not the burn CDs, but the very first mixtapes in high school?
In high school, they going for $10.
So that's almost retail.
15.
That's what a retail CD was.
15 for the CD, $10 for the tape. That's what
it
was.
So you were making full price at that point.
Yeah.
So you were really cashing in.
That's why I'm saying. So now, but if you think about this as business people, rappers ain't getting no cut like that. Like they not getting no split.
If you would have signed out of the gate, you would have been getting $1.
I would have been getting cents. Rappers ain't getting no dollar.
Less than $1.
Rappers
Less than 10%.
Don't get no dollar. Rappers don't get no dollar off their album. No.
Even back then.
Even back then. That's what I'm saying. So we talking about cents.
So that was the rise of the hip hop scene, the rap in Houston, where people were going through smaller names, not the big guys in New York and LA.
They was going
so they could make more
money.
Distribution
companies. Well, really, how it still was bad because they were still going through investors. So
but you're still going through groups. It was like groups. It wasn't like labels.
It was. Basically, it's what it is. You talking to an investor, and he giving you a deal just like a major label would give you. So he still giving you the cents on the dollar because that's what the normal contract is for artists.
So you're not getting the 50-50 split even with the investor?
You're still not getting the 50-50 split if you going to an investor.
But why would you need an investor? Just because you need like recording time? You need studio time?
At this point, this is what rappers know. Like even to this day, it ain't changed. Like rappers still looking for an investor. They don't care. They just gonna go to somebody who got some money. And if they got some money, then they'll sell them an album. To this day, this is what they do. Most rappers, 90% of the rappers. So that's what was just what people did. You know,
what was the cut on with Swishahouse though? Right, whenever you first started, what was the deal with those guys? It was just
it's
by
not
himself.
A record label.
Okay,
this is just mixtapes.
That's right. It was when it started out.
This is not
it's other people's beats.
This is other people's
music.
We just freestyling over. So really, I don't. And then the difference is since we in Houston Park, I'm just breaking down the music scene. DJ Screw, he's the one who sold out his mixtapes on the South Side. Like the artists didn't sell their mixtapes, but also those artists blew up from DJ Screw and was able to get investors and, you know, to give them money to make real albums that would go through Southwest and be successful, like real big, you know, 100,000 units sold type album.
I feel like I've heard Swishahouse so many times that I thought it was his own label.
No, well, it turned into a label. Okay. So that was a mix at this point when I'm here, it's mixtape.
And this is like 96.
This is 98. So 98 is when I came to Swishahouse. Before that, DJ Screwed 'em. You had the little Kikis, the Fat Pats, the everybody on the South Side had a name for themselves and really was the core of the city. You know, it wasn't no North Side representation until we showed up. You know, it was a few rappers, but it wasn't like, oh, we represent the North Side. Because you got to think, we had the Ghetto Boys, we had like big names like that, but they was like major artists to us. You know, they wasn't like, oh, y'all ain't on the scene with us, y'all got deals.
Where are the Southside rappers from?
Ghetto Boys was Rap A Lot, right?
Rap A Lot, right. Yeah, so they like had, they was major artists. Scarface a major artist to. So we was an underground scene, and through the underground scene, like a DJ Screw, they was heavy on culture, Houston culture. Like, and that's when I say that, I mean the sipping syrup, the riding the swangers, the
Where is he
fofos.
from? What city is he from?
Who?
Screw.
Don't give me the time. No, that's a debate, but really he's Southside Houston. He represents Southside Houston.
But where? What city?
We'll leave
Houston.
it at that.
Just
Houston.
Houston proper.
Houston,
So just like
Southside.
over by the Med Center, kind of south. That's not the South. We're from the South.
Nah, I joke. He really from like a little country town, but he moved to the South Side.
What's the country town?
Is it Smithsville, I think?
I don't even know where that's
Yeah, I
at.
think he's from Smithsville, but he moved at a young age, and my little joke to the South Side, he ain't from the South Side.
No.
You know, I be joking, you know.
So he's from like Third Ward or something.
I don't actually
Something
know
over there,
exactly. He had his store off of Cullen. I don't know exactly what neighborhood.
Okay, that's
DJ
near like
Screw
U of
from.
H.
Yeah. And it was on 610 in Cullen, like that way.
Okay, McCalla and all that.
But yeah, so DJ Screw basically blew the culture of music up of, you know, the rims like we talk about, like that's and all that stuff, and the serve and all that, and the freestyling type of rap. Like Scarface is a worldwide respected rapper. Like Jay-Z, everybody look at Scarface like one of the best. Like he a real lyricist. In Texas, we was just freestyling off the top of our head, like just saying anything we see. I'm on the Houston Boys, my boy Scott riding in the lot. You know, we just having fun. You know, he was serious.
I remember all those tapes.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean when I say culture rap. So DJ Screw kicked off the culture rap. Him, Kiki, Fat Pat, all them, and then we was the North Side representation of that. And that was early 98. So then now and after the mixtape buzz, I began to get really, me and ESG came together. He was already having a name from the South Side. So we had the North Side, South Side problem back then where it was a little beef between the North Side, South Side or whatever. Like on DJ Screw tapes, they would say, we don't mess with the North Side, whatever, you know. So it was hard for a North Side dude like me to make it because nobody really messed with us. But at the end of the day, when ESG saw that I was making a name for myself, he reached out and said, hey, man, let's do a record together. So when we got together and did a record, we did like a peace record, like North and South, Brazen Phase, like Squash the Beef type record, you know what I'm saying? So we brought the city together at that point. That was like 99, I believe. After that, you will see the North Side and the South Side forever on just work together and it just be all Houston. At first, it was a divide, but we brought the city together right then. And we put a project out after that because that song was successful. We did another song that was successful. So me and ESG did a project together. And what that was me leaving Swishahouse, not really leaving them because I wasn't never signed to them, but I was starting my own record label as Boss Hog Outlaws in 2000. And then ESG was leaving Rec Shop. And we came together and did a project through Southwest to just learn the game of how to put an album out. Because first I'm just putting out mixtapes and he an artist. He not a CEO. So we did a project together.
So he never signed with anybody either.
Who?
ESG.
He was signed to a few people, but that's what I'm saying. He was an artist on a few of those.
He didn't know before. It was before you
He
met
didn't
him.
really, we got together and went through the Southwest thing as a group so we can learn the, game of how to do independent, whatever.
So y'all funded everything.
Everything. Well, really how it would happen is we had so much buzz, Robert would give us some money if we asked, because
Is Robert the Southwest guy?
the Southwest guy, he already knew us. So he would give it. It's just like a label.
Because he knew it was going to make money on it anyway.
He checking the numbers. He know what we doing. He know what we going to be able to move anyway. So, but anyway, we put that project out. It did real good.
So how much does it really cost? Like if you know that you have some good music and you've been recording, let's say studio out of it, what does it cost? What's the upfront for back then? What's the upfront? Why is everybody getting investors? Are we talking like 20,000, 100,000 to make your first?
No.
I don't know what minimum orders, they're called MOQs. I don't know what the MOQ is on a tape.
You're talking to kids from the hood who don't got nothing, like a lot of the times, So like I say, it wasn't no opportunity. Like, so a lot of people just, still to this day, like most people get help.
So is it 50,000, 100,000? Like if you're coming out with something?
To make a project? It could be whatever you make it. Like and I don't do none of that. It's a big slum. I spend the least. I don't buy nothing or spend no money. But a new artist could spend up to, whatever, 100,000, 200,000. It depends on whatever the investor want to take.
Videos, advertisement.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Distribution.
Everything. It's a lot more than that.
Production.
It's just about how serious are you taking it and how far you want to take it.
So when he's giving you money, the guy who owns Southwest Records or Southwest,
he's not really
whatever.
giving us money. I'm just saying he would, but
he would.
Yeah.
Okay, so he didn't actually. I was wondering how much he took and how long it took you to make your money back.
No,
they funded everything.
That project did 100,000. We did it free, basically, because I had to rap, ESG rap, and then we did a collab with a producer. So he made the beats, and it was just we just sat in the studio and did it. It
was like pure profit.
Yeah, it was just pure. We just sat in there and did it like it wasn't nothing. And that was like the intro. I still haven't put out a debut album yet. This is just me and ESG. This is my first real release.
So was that only like 1 or 2 songs, or was that a whole album you did with him?
That's a whole album with him.
Okay.
Everything I did before this was underground music. Yeah. And
so this is your first real deal?
First real deal.
How many copies did you sell
the
the
It
first
did over 100,000. It did good.
That's good.
It was real successful. We had a song called Get Your Hands Up. And that so now I have not only the independent, and this is the difference between me. I didn't never have an investor.
Mm-hmm.
So when those artists who came out before, a lot of their best #1 debut albums came out with investors or whatever. So, they didn't get the bulk of that money. You know what I'm saying? So, or secondly, they wasn't selling CDs and tapes. They was just, DJ Screw was just selling them. So when I came out, I did it a different route. And the route I took was more of a entrepreneur route, as I didn't have an investor to pay for my projects or whatever. So I had to do a lot of that stuff myself. But at the same time, I knew better because I already had self-value from selling mixtapes and CDs to know that, hey, man, if you ain't talking no real money, I don't even want to talk to you about it.
So you go to New York. Who set you up with that meeting?
Me and ESG got, we got booming or whatever. Now it's people checking us out or whatever. And because we got, now we ain't, I'm not just underground now. Now we got some actual, numbers on here from the album or whatever. So yeah, immediately they fly us out to a few different places. I remember offers of 250,000, maybe 350,000 for 2 or 3 albums. You know what I'm saying?
I just sold 100,000.
Right, but
but
at the same time, most artists still would take that deal
because they're desperate. They're desperate to make that step in.
It's not even. I don't want to call them desperate. I want to say that they just want to be a superstar. A lot of people want the machine, and they want if the machine show interest, they want it because the machine can make them look big as they want to look. And when you're independent, you might get the money. For a long time, I was getting the money, but I wasn't getting the notoriety. I had the stuff in the street. You see me at the club, I'm shining. But as far as on TV, on the radio, even still to this day, I'm not on the radio. I'm not.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, I don't know. Nobody listens to the radio anymore anyway.
Classic songs that I'm just saying, I'm not constantly, every time I drop a song, it's on the radio. No, I still am underground even to this day. A lot of the music I drop because I'm still independent. I'm still not with a major company. I'm still doing it by myself.
So you had the experience flying all around, talking to different people. You know what it's like. You've been there. You sat in those meetings. You tell them all to fuck off.
Well, that was, let me get back to the story. I'm jumping around, I guess. So, right. So right. So that was the first initial offer or whatever, right? And I turned that down, and I think ESG was a little salty at that too.
Because he was with you. He was with you in all these meetings, thinking that y'all were going to sign together.
But at the same time, he not getting his money like I was getting, so he probably looked at it different. So
you're telling him, be patient, it'll come.
I'm not gonna take that because I'm already understanding my self-value and knowing how much money I'm making without the record deal. So
what's ESG doing today? Is he still around?
He's still around. He still rap, but at the same time, it's I just think different. Like I say, that I since it's an entrepreneur show, let's go. I'm just saying that selling the mixtapes and learning how to do that and seeing the split on that really gave me a real entrepreneur spirit of not accepting cents on a dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
I was
you
like,
already knew the business at that
I already
point.
knew the business.
And most people don't. They're
Most
they've
people
been an
don't.
artist. They don't know anything about it. They don't even know how much margin you can make off a CD or a tape.
They ain't never seen it.
Yeah.
They ain't never got the check to know that, yeah, I'm tripping. Like, nah, I'm supposed to be making way more than this. So by me having that information, I was turning down deals like, nah, I ain't even care about. I was just keeping going straight. Now, as now we got Still Tipping comes out. Well, I think did I have a record deal? I think I had a record deal before Still Tipping. Actually, it was out and it was booming in our region, but before it went worldwide like that, I had a record deal, and Pharrell, I got with Pharrell. It wasn't like I was an artist though. It was me teaming up with Pharrell, and we doing a label deal. And I was like, what made this valuable was him being a super producer and me being able to take, because the thing is, like, I've been doing this since 98. This is 2003, I think, at this time. I'm steady doing shows in Houston, Dallas, Louisiana. I'm kind of going in a circle. Oklahoma. I'm getting money, but I'm like, I need to take it to the
They
next
barely
level.
to cover the trip kind of thing.
Yeah, and they was talking good. It was a label deal. I could still do my independent things with the mixtapes and stuff. They wasn't tripping on that. So I was thinking like, man, well, maybe I should do this deal just to spread the brand, you know what I'm saying? To make myself.
You gone as far as you could on your own. You need to go.
Right. I'm getting money, but at the end of the day, it's time to put an album out. I still haven't put out an album. This is like 5 years in the game. And I'm just doing shows on every week on other people's beats, it's like, so it's like, I got a couple songs with ESG, a couple features I did, but mainly we doing songs on other people's beats. So it's like,
and by this time you've had some kids.
No, I got one child. I got
So you want to be home more too. You want to be on the road all the time.
Yeah, well, really, man, like, I'm doing good actually, like, because on the underground scene, I'm still dropping albums that's underground albums. Like, I created this thing where I put all the underground freestyles on one tape, and that was like my album. And that was so crazy for me. It like changed my life. Every time I drop one, it'd like take my numbers of what I thought I was worth to a whole nother level. So I'm like 21, 6-bedroom crib, by 6-7 cars in the front. Like, I'm just living my life, like, so I don't want to change it. I'm like, it's good. But finally, like I said, I sat with Pharrell and Jimmy Iovine. And let me break that down, how that came about. So I started dating LaToya Luckett, and she's already a known singer from Destiny Child, right? So as an underground artist, and then how I ended up getting my record deal was we was dating, and she had a record deal, and I would go with her to LA to record. And while she's in there recording, she like, hey, I want to get you on this song. She tells me this. So I go in there and I do my rap. And her manager like, man, you rap? Like, and he like, man, play some songs for me. So I played a couple records for him. And then he just took it to the label, to Interscope. And they was calling me like the next day, like trying to get me to, get down with him. And next thing you know, they had Pharrell coming to the city. They was like, hey, Pharrell coming to the city, you mind sitting down with him and checking, playing some records? So through her, I ended up getting a record deal, like with Interscope, Geffen. So, and with Star Trek with Pharrell. So
what made that situation different where you decided to move forward and sign with him?
Like I say, it was a label deal, and then I'm teaming up with a super producer. It's dropping like it's hot out at the right time. At this time, I'm Slim Thug. Like, I ain't got no records that big, so I'm thinking like, okay, this might make sense for me. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, I'm rapping on his beats anyway, because I'm rapping on everybody else's beats. That's how I get my money. So it wasn't like a big transition for me. So we began to immediately work on project, work on my first solo. I'm loving it. This is a whole nother experience. I got a lot of help. I enjoyed the record label experience. Like, a lot of people be thinking I hate record labels. I had a great experience. It was probably my best experience in making a project, just being in the studio for real. It's all kind of people around us or whatever. And then not only that, just teaming up with him, he led me to doing a record with Gwen Stefani, and I'm sure other people. So it's like he definitely put me in the dough and put a different spotlight on me. So I really enjoyed that, and that took me to a whole nother level. And while that was happening, before I can even put the album out, Still Tipping took over. It
What
just went
album?
crazy.
Whose album was that on? I don't remember.
See,
Was it on?
Still Tipping, when it was initially made, it was so Still Tipping is off of a freestyle I did in 1999, I think. It's called 98. It's on a mixtape we had called Rolling Strap 98. And I was freestyling to a beat, Master P beat, and I said that, and that look who creeping, and I said it's still tipping on fofos, wrapped in. So I wanted to make that a song or whatever. So I got with a producer called Big Time, who was producing for the Swishahouse at the time. Like, because at this time we had mixtapes, and now Swishahouse is gonna do a compilation album, like with all the artists, and do like a whole compilation album and name it The Day Hell Broke Loose. So we did the first one, and then now we working on the second one. And Big Time, I got with him. We did the record, but it wasn't this record that you hear. It was on a different beat that Big Time produced. And when I brought him the thing, he put the beat around it, and then who else he got on there? It was me, Mike Jones, and Chameleonaire was on the record at first. So then him and Watts, who is the CEO of Swishahouse, they had a little fallout or whatever. So I guess he brought that to Rap-A-Lot or whatever and put that version out through Rap-A-Lot. But Watts them kept the other version. I mean, kept the lyrics and put a new beat under it. You know, took Big Time off of it after I guess they fell out. And that's really what changed the dynamic of the song when they put that beat on there. It just, and they put Paul Wall on there too. Paul Wall is actually the only rapper who rapped to that beat. Those other verses, me and Mike Jones was on a different beat, and they put it on that beat, you know. But he the only one who actually rapped to Tipping on Fofos. So after that record came out, now for the longest, like I say, I was in the circle. I would go Houston, Dallas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and the Houston sound was in the circle. Basically, it wouldn't go further. Like a lot of people didn't understand us as far as like the rims and the sip and serve and all that. So with Still Tipping, it broke the door down. Now people get it. They finally understand the culture of it. They finally liking a Houston record, and it's taken off everywhere, you know, all over. So it's like, it been other people in the city who came out before, but it was like, that was just a real description of the Houston culture as far as the rims and everything. So with that, me, Mike Jones, and Paul Wall, it just went crazy, man. And it ended up being on Mike Jones' album, and, you know, he went astronomical with it. So.
And what year was this, 2003, you said?
That was 2004, maybe his album. 2004, his came out. I was already signed, had an album, was working with Pharrell, but my album ended up getting bootlegged. So I had to redo my album. And Mike Jones.
So how does that happen? Did you find out who did that?
I never found out who did that. Actually, this year is my 20-year anniversary of my already platinum first album. And yeah, it ended up getting bootlegged, so we had to push it back. Mike Jones ended up coming out first, and then we came out later. I came out after that. Yeah.
So how many albums after that one?
After Mike Jones?
After your album, they said made platinum.
I don't know what. Now I say Mike Jones came out, and then I came out after that with my own album, already platinum. So
then from there, you're still recording. I heard you say at some point that you were going to start your own label.
Yeah, this is Boss Hog Outlaws is already established by the time I go get a record deal. Like
how does that deal work when you do that, where there's an independent label, but then you have like Interscope or somebody that is the main label?
Yeah, so I had a deal where I had two different artists who was lined up after me, Killer Corleone and J-Dog, on the Interscope deal with me. It wasn't just about Slim Thug. It was going to be all of us, yeah.
I was wondering if they made you drop your other company. Like, you can't, it's a conflict of interest at some point.
What, did I have to drop Boss Hog Outlaws? Mm-hmm. No, it was on the back of the CD, Boss Hog Outlaws, and Star Trek. Yeah, it was like that, a label deal. So that was cool, but during that process, after we put the album out and everything, it was like a total shift of the label. Not Star Trek, but Geffen Interscope. So the person who signed me, the A&R, everybody, like the whole staff was new. They just switched up the whole staff on us between my first album and my second album. Mm-hmm. So it just didn't line up right, you know. So like I said, I'm from an independent space, and I just went to Jimmy and everybody, and I was like, hey, bro, this, this not the people who signed me, these, I know y'all going through a transition, but y'all holding me up, like, and eventually we was able to get a deal done where I can get out of it. So I got out of there and went back independent and put Boss of All Bosses out, which is my second album, and that's probably my most successful album, out of all of them.
And what year was that?
That was probably 08, 07, I think, something like that.
So you wrote a book at some point, right?
Oh yeah, How to Survive in a Recession. That's like, basically, it was a friend of mine I had knew, and she worked at a company that put out books. So I just was like, man, what's the process? Like, how can I put my own book out? And she told me, and we actually just sat down, kind of like we doing now, just kind of like went through different things I do. It's called How to Survive in a Recession is the name of the book. And we basically broke down about 50, I would say, different tips I have of how I'm, staying cheap is basically what I call myself. I'm the cheapest rapper you ever heard of.
Like staying slim and actually making money.
Making money and
that's how I run my business too. Is I run real slim. I was actually having that conversation today. I was like, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't run slim.
Right.
Everything that I did, I penny pinched the fuck out of everything.
That's life.
But if I was a $30,000 millionaire, the first year that I actually made money, when I made my first $1 million, I would not be here today.
Right.
But I saved everything. I did not blow and go, and I'm just really careful about, can we buy lunch for someone's birthday? Fuck no, they can buy their own lunch. No, we're not there yet. Yeah, but the slimmer you are, you understand the value of $1, and when it's your own money, you look at it a little bit different than when you're spending somebody else's.
Well, I think it all goes back to too, like as a learning self-value and learning like the different levels of the music business, because a lot of people who get record deals, they probably go broke or whatever if they don't have continued success, because they don't know how to move on different levels. Like, they gotta have the label putting this money behind them to do this, to do that. But when you can sustain by yourself, create a project by yourself, create songs by yourself, you will still be able to get the money. You know what I'm saying?
So did you diversify then when you started finally making money?
Yeah.
What did you do with that money? Did you buy real estate with it?
Oh yeah, we definitely bought real estate. And that was like in the initial days, and then later on, we actually built a community in our old neighborhood. We got 10 houses and built 10 houses in a low income area. Yeah, in our old neighborhood.
Who were you?
Me and my partners, Boss Life. We did about, the name of the company is Boss Life Construction, and it's me, my friend Troy Green. These are my childhood friends, and we kind of grew up and still to this day, ride together. Troy Green, my boy Sean West, I call him Chi-Town, and Corey Crawford. He got a Burns Barbecue. He owned Burns Barbecue. He got those in different Krogers and everywhere. And he also continued with the bill and built like a whole community of townhomes in the same area, because he has his business over there. So yeah, it was we turned it into a lot of stuff. But really, honestly, I like to tell people, like, really, what really got me here is rap real estate. And the real estate of rap is owning your masters, and not like...
Oh, we heard Mike Jones talk a lot about that.
Yeah, he talked about that. See, and that's what it is.
I didn't know what that meant until I interviewed him, because I don't know what.
So basically, it's like real estate. It's like, and that's how I look at it. I look at music as real estate. I look at music as every year I'm going to build a house or two, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it might give me mansion rent money. Sometimes it might give me hood rent money, but it's all going to be income, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you got to do it. You just got to keep building on it. Like, now, me being the owner of my masters, I own my music from when I was young, even back then. So it's like, I get paid monthly off of the catalog. Like, and that's what most rappers don't do. Most rappers had record deals and survive off of show money. And
so is that not common to have the masters included? You gotta fight for that. I mean, how do you get?
When you go get these record deals,
you're signing everything over.
It's like 25 years or something, right? Is that what he said? It's like something like 25, 30 years, and then you own your masters after that.
He wishing that. Good luck on that, Mike. Them people go figure out something. They is not finna just come out of it, but yeah. That's what the difference is, and since it's an entrepreneur show, that's what I'm trying to point out. Is a lot of rappers take the initial check of signing a record deal, and with that initial check, you lose ownership and you lose your masters, and now you're not getting paid the bulk of your money off of your music. See, me, I still get the bulk of the money off of all these projects I've been putting out since I was a kid. And not only
every
that,
download you're still getting.
every download, every play, I still get the bulk of
Every
that
play.
money. Most rappers don't, because they had to sell those masters to get that initial check.
Now, did you sign up for a YouTube account 20 years ago when that got popular too, and put videos up there? Did you sign up to where you were getting monetized on that?
I get paid off YouTube to this day every month. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what it is. Like, that's why I say it's rap real estate, because every song is a house.
It's only on your videos. What about if somebody else uses your song on their video? They have to pay you for
If they sample my music, then I get paid off of that also. Yeah, so yeah, that's.
But I don't ever
and that's
understand
like-
that.
How does everything pay now though with like Spotify and Pandora? There's just so many. Apple. Like, how do you get paid? Do you sell music on Apple and then you just get paid like very small amount on the streams?
It's streaming. Yeah, we still get a small amount, but even a small amount to the record labels is way smaller when you on a record label.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It
But
add up more.
If someone's gonna download your music, what platform do you make the most on? What do you prefer people to?
Man, really, it's all streaming, so it don't really matter.
It's all the same. So
It's
you get paid
all,
the same.
well, it's gonna add up, because you're gonna have the YouTube streams, you're gonna have the Spotify, you're gonna have Apple, you're gonna have all the different titles or whatever. So it's gonna add up to something. It's a lot of little that add up, but especially when it's old.
Pennies make dollars, they say.
Pennies turn into dollars, like, especially monthly, but it ain't. It's definitely a rip off compared to $8 off a CD.
Well, you have
You know what
some.
I'm
Well,
saying?
you have something trending. I hear Candace tells me that you have something trending right now on Instagram. Did you know that?
I don't.
Your song
always
is on the
trending,
trending thing
Oh,
on
word?
Instagram.
Oh,
Which song
wow.
is it?
What is it?
Oh, Thug. Yeah, Thug. That's off of Boss of All Bosses. That's what I'm saying.
So it's trending now.
See, now listen.
You don't
That's
get
So if
paid.
he
You
did-
don't
if
get
he
paid
didn't
on that
own it
though.
and it
But you
came
don't
back,
get
yeah.
paid on that. But you get downloads. I'm sure people like the
no.
music.
I get paid off it. That's what I'm saying.
Even on a trending song on Instagram.
I get paid off all my music. That's what I'm telling you.
I didn't
because
know
stayed
that.
in that's because I stayed in the.
But I always wondered if artists actually get paid when people have like when they pick
On Instagram or
an
or
Instagram
Facebook.
audio, not a download, not a streaming or whatever.
Yeah, it's
They have to pay
it's
some
like
royalty
a
for
royalty
everything.
type of thing. Like, yeah, Instagram. If it's recognized, yeah, they pay a royalty for that. But yeah. So that's basically that's how it go. Like,
So you still have money coming in from the masters.
that's it mainly.
Are you ever doing shows? If somebody ever wants to pay you and
Always.
says
Always.
come to my house, I'm gonna pay you 200
I
grand.
do shows all the time. We got a show coming up out here at the NRG on the 17th. Yeah, I do shows. I've been doing shows since 17.
you never stop.
Never stops. Never stop doing shows.
So besides,
Probably 4 a month, 3 or 4 a month.
Really?
have you
Yeah, it's crazy.
have you started any other businesses outside of working with your friends for real estate or?
Man, honestly, I value freedom and my name. Like, I'm Chick-fil-A is what I say. I'm quality. Like,
I say
I'm
the
saying?
Chick-fil-A
Like, yeah.
cosmetics.
Yeah,
No matter where you go, those nuggets still taste the same.
Exactly. So I don't like to attach myself to anything that ain't gonna be forever or long term. But so a lot of the times I get paid teaming up with people. I got a huge following on social media.
I noticed that. So it looked like a media company.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, you kind of developed your own
Right,
media company. I don't know if you did
exactly.
that on purpose,
It's
but
like
I mean,
direct, commercials to you. So it's like I do a lot of that, but
is it like Grizzly Hood News? What is this? What is your media?
I'm thugging news. But no, it's my
No, I
actual
tried
page.
to look at your page and try to see what the consistency was with your media. Are you just talking about top news stories? Are you keeping it
Whatever,
music
man.
related
It get
or
crazy? Like
I follow him because it's a lot of motivational stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he has.
I try to like
motivational
post
and-
motivational stuff. I get a lot of I say a lot of crazy shit. I ain't gonna lie. So it's like
That's okay. Honesty is the best policy. I
do
like
say
people who
a lot.
keep it real. I like
I
it.
do say a lot of crazy stuff, so I get a lot of backlash, like on gossip
About what?
sites about just random
You're gonna
stuff.
always
I'm
have
talking about.
that. Yeah.
Giving your opinion.
No, but you're gonna
all
have
the
that
time.
on anything.
They just headline.
trying to get clicks,
They,
yeah.
They clickbait me all the time, But if you actually tap into what I say, it's always on some
It's
motivational,
positive,
positive,
yeah.
entrepreneur. Like,
Working
go
out.
out there, go get it, take care of yourself. That's my whole message to the world all the time.
Well, that's what I was saying before. I told a couple of people that you were going to be on. They were all like, "He's a fucking bad dude. He's good,
I try to-
good bad.
I try
Like he's a
to
badass
encourage-
guy."
But like I say, at the same time, I'm an outside thinker because like I never had that job where I had to follow rules. I didn't have to curse. I couldn't smell like weed. You know, like all this. So it's like by having that, also.
Yeah, you're smoking on the camera. I saw that.
And it's for medicinal purposes. It's a privilege. It's like that's something also people need to understand, that when you do be an entrepreneur, you are your own boss. Like, okay, if you work for somebody, when do the rules stop? You'll be a 40-year-old kid. You can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. Ain't nothing wrong with it if you got to do it, but I enjoy the freedom of being able to do whatever I want to do, say what I want to say. It ain't just about money to me. I love money. I'm thankful for everything I have.
But you're not going to let them buy you out.
But I'm not going to let them. If I did, I would have been sold out. So it's like I'm really about, freedom, happiness. I believe I believe a lot of people work too much a lot of the time. Like, you need to be able to vacation. You need to be able to spend time with your family. And I think that a lot of the things that set up what's tradition or what everybody else doing is just not healthy, not good, so.
No, I agree. And I use my social media platform the same way. I keep it real. I say it like it is. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch me.
Right. That's what I say.
And I've been doing that for a long time. I actually kind of reeled it back in. And
people need to realize that, though. It's like a lot of people attack you for having a different opinion than them, but really it's just
But how boring will we all be if we had the same opinion?
If you don't like it, don't look, man. That's just basically what it is. Like, and I have to remind them over, hey, man, I'm on my 17 Rolls Royce, man. Listen, I ain't need you to make it here. I don't need you now.
Your opinion's not going to put money in my account.
Right. I did it without you already. And that's something people need to learn, too, in the entrepreneur world. People gonna hate, man, and it's gonna be close to you. It's gonna be your family. It's gonna be your friend, or not even hate, just not believe, maybe.
When you don't hear any noise, you're no longer relevant. Exactly. If you stop hearing noise, if they're talking shit, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, but anyway, even if they are or not, it's just about you just gotta dive into whatever you believe in and just do it, and just prove whoever wrong if that's what the motivation gonna be, But don't let people talk you out of your world or what you want.
It's mostly people that usually when you do something different, somebody's always going to have an opinion.
Right.
Somebody's always going to think something else. And usually the people that are giving you advice have no position to give you advice anyways. It's like, hey, don't do this. Exactly. Don't do this. Like, hold on, you never made an album. Hold on. Why am I going to take advice from you? Or, don't do this business, do this business. And it's like,
it's a lot of that.
You don't need to take advice from people like that have never done anything.
But also, and honestly, it'll come from loved ones also, just people trying to protect you too. Like it might be somebody who at the same time never did this, never did that, but think the safe way is, hey, you need to go do this and do that. Just get a job.
Go to college, get a job.
But at the end of the day, that's not the winner. The winners is who gonna believe in what they come up with and not stop until at least it's done and they tried it and failed, and that's just what life is. And I believe also that it's just the people, like I'm a tough lover. As much as I'm nice or whatever, cool people like me, I'm a tough lover. I don't think that you can drag certain people with you. I believe that you got the hustle gene or you don't. You know what I'm saying? You're a go-getter or you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're going to make excuses or you're going to do it, and that's just, I believe people put themselves in whatever folder they want to put themselves in. And I'm not mad at you for whatever folder you decide to jump in, but at the same time, I don't have sympathy for you because for success is sacrifice. And if you ain't sacrificing with me, I don't feel sorry for you.
If you're not on the fucking karaoke machine.
If you can't sacrifice
doing
with
concerts at 10,
it's hard to feel
because nobody wants to
you.
Do something for 10 years or 10,000 hours.
They don't want to have to do that to get to where they want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Well, do you have any regrets? Is there any moment in time that you feel like if you would have gone a different direction, something else different would have happened?
Man, I'm sure if
or do you
I
feel like you're
went
right
a
where you
different direction 1,000 times, it probably more stuff could have happened, bigger things could have happened, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, I just kind of, at the beginning of my life, or at the beginning of my career, I kind of came up with who I was as a rapper and how I wanted to do it, and I just stuck to it, and I don't regret nothing now. And at the end of the day, a lot of people now are making me look like a genius because everybody like, oh, stay independent, go independent, man.
Well, at the end of the day, you probably made a lot more money, like in your account, than they made. They sold more. They sold more records. You made more money.
Exactly.
And it's not all about money all the time either. Exactly. But at the end of the day, it's like you made the good deal with yourself and stayed true to yourself and independent.
See, that's what it is, and more than anything, I just want to own myself. Like I just want to be the rapper.
You want to be owned. Yeah, you should be owned.
I want to own my song. Like I don't want to be playing my song in the club and somebody else get rich off of it. Like
you don't want to be the puppet of the machine.
I don't want to be the puppet of the machine. I want to be the man. And that's just my whole, and I don't knock nobody else who want to do it any other way.
But either you want to do that and you want to be told what to do.
Exactly.
Or you want to do what the fuck you want to do the way you want to do it.
That's just what it is. And that's what people need to understand. And that's just the life I chose. I don't like being told what to do. I like to move, say what I want to say, do what I want to do. It's like I tell you, it's more than money. It's more than money to me, just to
Does your mom follow you on social media? Yeah. Does she give you shit when you say too much?
Oh, nah. She know I'm crazy. Like, she definitely get on me when I go too crazy, but nah.
My mom used to be like, you're embarrassing me.
That's what exactly. She'd be like,
and I'm like, sorry, it is what it is.
But it's been like that since we was kids. We would always do stuff to her back.
I know. She's like, I can't follow you on social media. My friends are going to see you out there saying the F word.
Nah, she proud of me. She going to follow me. She going to represent. She know, she seen it, man. She seen the whole thing. Like, so... At first, like I say, she was the loved one. Hey, just go to college, get a job, do this here. But now, eventually she see the vision. I'm getting her cars and shit.
Hopefully you're taking care of her now.
Right. It's like
everybody thinks money. They always say, "Oh, money doesn't buy happiness, doesn't buy this. It buys freedom," and that's what they don't understand.
Freedom, and that's what you need.
That's what gives you happiness.
Freedom and confidence.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Freedom and confidence, exactly.
Freedom to do what you want to do. You can either work more or do whatever you want.
You're not tied to somebody else's decisions. Like someone else's decisions can change your fucking life if you're tied.
And outside of that, just confidence, because as an entrepreneur, if you come up with something and it actually worked, you'll believe in your ideas now. It make you more, I can do something else. Then if I did this, I can do this, I can do that. As a rapper, that's kind of like, it's get crazy because I'm actually coming up with music from my mind. So I think I'm a real wizard. That's why I got the beard. You know what I'm saying? And they give me a confidence of thinking I can do anything. So I got a million ideas.
Well, what's next? What do you think's next? You don't have to give away all your playbook, but what's next? Well, what do you see yourself doing in 5-10 years?
Okay, so the other year, was it COVID, I think, or the year after, I did a TV show called College Hill where I went back to college to TSU. Mm-hmm. And that was crazy after never going to college and being out since 99. So, but it was a great experience, and it was a TV thing. And I was like, they paid me for some to be on TV. So I took a little of that money and made a movie. I did a little Tubi movie, little hood movie, you know what I'm saying? It's just because that's how I think. I'm like, okay, if I got paid this money to do this TV thing, let me see if I can make some more TV money out for, this or whatever. Let me try to create something. I had an idea of a movie I wanted to do. My friend he was an actor and doing little movies around the city. So I say, hey, man, I got this idea. He turned it into a script. We paid for it. We shot it. We plan on dropping that in a couple months. So I'm excited about that because a lot of people. So
film producer could be next.
Right, could be. And that's just, and I feel like it's still true to heart.
It's kind of the same thing with music though, but you don't have to have. You got Netflix now.
And I'm doing it independent, same way. I'm trying to do it, but that's different. Netflix is like a major label on that world. I'm learning.
Can you say the name of it now, or you can't? The
name of it is Double Cup. Yeah, it's Double Cup. Power Wall in it. Kiki. I got all of the rappers, my friends in there.
Double Cup, taking it back to the 90s.
Bro, right. Exactly. It's kind of like, I just really wanted to do a culture movie, like a movie that represents Houston culture. And, man, we had a good time doing it. I got some comedians out the city in it. I think people are gonna be shocked, and
it's already done.
It's already done, and then I got.
Are you shopping?
Where can we go? Where can we go watch it at?
It's not out yet. See,
so are you still shopping networks? Or you're kind of learning along the way, like you're gonna get bought like a label from.
Independent with it once again, like that's still the mind frame. So I'm trying to figure out. This is a new, like a new world for me. So I'm trying to talk to different people to see which ways they went with it. The different distribution companies, the Amazons, but the Netflix is like a major label because they're going to try to buy it type thing. You know what I'm saying? They want to own it. So it's like being on a major. So I really haven't 100% picked which platform I'm going to send it through, but that's basically what I'm waiting on to just figure out exactly which one I want to go through. But everything is done, and I just wanted to get everything done before I really just, went crazy on trying to figure all it out.
Well, y'all have all the marketing. Everybody's got followers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see what happens when you do this on a independent scale. Like, if it, just like the music, let's see what happens.
But I don't feel like movies are, it's kind of like music. I mean, nowadays it's so different because you don't have to go to the theater or be in the theater.
Streaming, it's the same, you know what I'm saying?
You could hit it big with something like Blair Witch was the first one that just came out with some weird shit at River Oaks Theater, and everyone's like, what the fuck is this? And then it made it big time. So you still make it big time with your movies, and who knows?
But but all they got to do is make some money. Like I say, man, this is a new world. So when I'm thinking 10,000 hours, like, if it makes some money, I can reinvest it, then, we keep going. But, that's how I look at stuff. I'm not in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? One step at a time, 10,000 hours. We'll figure it out. Yeah, but that's just what you do.
Well, we appreciate you coming out here today. It was really nice hearing your story. I didn't know any of the backstory. I just knew the music that everybody else knows. So it was really nice hearing your story.
I really enjoyed it, man.
Yeah,
it's
appreciate
a real nice thing y'all got going.